Hey everyone, it's Tina. Welcome back to my channel, Create with Tina. Today I am here to show you another layout in my Floral Charms Scrapbook Kit series. So if you've been watching along, you know that with each video I am trying to show you a different layout design using the Floral Charms DSP from Stampin Up, and each layout also has some unique twists or techniques that I'm doing that I want to teach you along the way. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Today what I'm going to show you is number one, how to color your die cut flowers with blending brushes. In the last video I showed you how to watercolor flowers to create your own die cuts or pieces that would look like stickers. So today we're going to do it with blending brushes. I'm also going to show you this really fun kind of a wowie technique called how to create your own tone-on-tone textured cardstock using die cuts. Now this technique does take a bit of time, so it's one of those layouts you probably wouldn't do all the time, but when you wanted to do a wowie layout you would. And then the last thing I want to talk about is how to create bold dimensional titles on your layouts. So let's jump right in, and first thing I want to do is a quick overview of the supplies. So again, I'm working with the Floral Charms DSP that I have been showing you. This pack of 12 sheets of papers comes with 6 designs, and they're double-sided, so you get 2 of each design, and then the back side has a solid sheet with a very monotone design in it, so you have more of your busier patterns to use with a variety of colors, and then your anchor patterns to use that kind of tie it all together. And this layout is going to be focused on these particular flowers that use the Timid Tiger, Petal Pink, Berry Burst, and Mossy Meadow colors. Isn't it so pretty? Okay, so you can kind of see a sneak peek right here of how it's going to look on the layout, but I'm going to set that aside for now because I want to show you all of that at the end. Again, we're going to be focusing on the Charming Day Stamp and Die bundle. I use it on all of the layouts, and it comes as a bundle, and if you get the bundle it's a discounted 10%, or it comes in the suite, which is also discounted. So we're going to be using this again. No stamping this time, so we're not going to use any of the stamps, but we are going to use some of the dies. And for this particular layout I'm going to just pull out 3 of the dies, maybe 4 of the dies that we are going to use to create our pattern paper. Okay, and then we are going to be using the brand new set that I've already introduced you to before, the Party Alphabet dies, and this is also part of a bundle that includes the alphabets, which is what you see right here, as well as the party banners, which I'm going to be showing you some projects with that as well. And we're going to be using these dies to create our title, and I thought it would be fun to show you, let's see, I think you guys can see the edge here, that these letters are right, well, let's do it this way at the bottom. These letters are very close to that doesn't work either. Let's do it on this side. Okay, these letters are very close to 2.5 to 3 inches tall, so they are going to make wonderful titles for your scrapbook pages. So we're going to be using those. And then I pulled in an oldie but a goodie, the mini alphabet dies, and I love this because it's one die and it has all of the letters, and it has multiple of some of them. Multiple of the letters, sorry, that we use a lot. So the vowels and the consonants like L, N. So we're going to use this, and we're going to mix and match the large alphabet dies with the smaller alphabet dies. Wouldn't you know it, every time you go to video something happens. All right, I'm also going to be using the stylish shape dies. Now These are a standalone die set that everybody should have in their stash, because I know it's just squares and circles and banners, but what you can see is that it leaves a really fun border on it as well. So it makes the images interesting without adding any extra bulk, and it makes it quick when you can just grab one of these and they nest together nicely, and you can get a lot of different sizes. So these are the stylish shape dies, and we'll use those. Now the last thing I want to talk about again, so I showed it in the last video, Floral Charms Layout 2 are adhesive sheets, and these are a must-have, especially when you're using small alphabet dies or any kind of delicate dies. They make it so easy to adhere your image to your card or your layout or whatever paper crafting project you're doing. And like I showed you yesterday, they come in these 6x12 sheets, and you just remove one side of it. So let's do it together today. I'm going to give you a quick overview, and I'm going to zoom in. So what I've done is I've just cut a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock and a piece of the adhesive sheet, and I am going to put the adhesive on the light side because I want the dark side to be the side that is up. All right, so you'll see that these come with a little crease right there, and you just want to get it started, and you'll see sometimes the adhesive wants to come up with it, but just kind of pull it back, and you can be more careful than me. I do everything in a hurry so I don't worry about little ripples or edges not being completely tucked down, and I like to only do half at a time because it's a lot easier for me to control. And then you can just pull this sheet back, and you'll see it's trying to stick. I just pull it off like that. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it down again. Okay, so there is my cardstock with this adhesive sheet on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the die cut machine, and I'm going to zoom this back out because it makes it too hard to see. I need to get new plates. Look how well loved my plates are. So let's zoom it out just a little bit more for you guys. All right, so what I'm going to do is, this is just to show you how fun it is. I'm going to stick a few of these die cuts on, however I can get them on to get the most on my little piece. And this is just for demonstration purposes to show you what I did to make my fun, yeah, I think that'll go there, background technique. And I don't know, let me show you this real quick. This is a very awesome thing that Stampin' Up does. In their die sets, one of the dies is labeled with the item number of the die, so that you, if you lose that die, you'll know what set it went to. Okay, so I'm going to stick it on just like that. Now, you can use washi tape or whatever kind of thing you use. I forget what it's called to hold your dies in place, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to try to do this without shaking the camera too much. So I'm pressing down a little bit more than I normally would because I know it's shaking the camera. And because it's adhesive sheets and I want to make sure it cuts through really well, I'm just going to go through a couple of times. Probably 2 is enough, but you know what? When you're doing a video, all the weird stuff can happen. So I'm just going to go through 3 times for the fun of it. All right, and I'm going to move it out of the way. And here you go. Now, here's what you're going to end up getting. You're going to get your die cut, and it's sticky and ready to go because that adhesive sheet is on the back. Isn't that awesome? I love it. I love it. Now, if you're a saver, you can save this for partial dies. For the technique I'm going to teach you, I probably would keep going, and I would stick this little guy on right there and cut out more because we are building a whole pattern. Let me see. I have a piercing tool over here, whatever you use to kind of push out your dies. So this is where the fun comes in. And look, this You could glue that if you wanted using your liquid adhesive, but boy, you don't have to when you have the adhesive sheet on it. So here's what we're gonna do to make that pattern paper. All right, so let me get all these dies out of the way. So this is the two-tone cardstock. One side is the dark shade. The other side is the base shade, which is a couple shades lighter than the dark side. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna try to do it with my fingers, actually, because I did not bring my other tool, the tool that I can never, the pick apart tool, or I can never remember what that tool is called, but it's super, super helpful. It's a new one to me. I always just use this piercing tool I had on hand, and then I learned about the Stampin' Up pick me up tool. I don't know. All I'm doing is pushing out these extra pieces that we don't need. Okay, and let's see if, ooh, I could probably do it right there. Nope. With the pick me up tool, I need Holly. Holly always knows what they're called, and I do not. See, I told you, when you're doing videos, there we go. Everything that can go wrong or not be easy will happen. So I'm just gonna pull off. I'm never delicate. I am always quick in my crafting. Most everything I do is quick. My layouts are quick and beautiful, and you get a lot of layouts on, but I don't usually do wowie layouts, so this is a wowie technique. So what we're gonna do is lay this on, and we're just gonna keep going. Bet you I can do it faster with my fingernail. There we go. Pull off the adhesive sheet, and I'm just gonna place it on the page, filling in the background. It's okay if it's torn. I can cover it and fix it with a little marker. And this is what I did with probably, I think it was about a 4.5 by 12 inch piece of paper. So I cut a bunch of die cuts just like this, and I put the adhesive sheet on the whole piece of cardstock, cut out my die cuts, and built up this fun and beautiful pattern. And you're just going to keep going, and you're going to get to the point where do I want this one? Maybe it's going to go up here, where it's going to hang off the page. No, I'm just going to go down here. You're going to get pieces that are going to hang off, and you're going to cut those with your scissors. So we're just going to cut those off. Oops. Just like that. And then we're going to use them to fill in open spaces, just like that. And you're going to fill in an entire sheet, okay? So this is a fun way that you can make, get that in the light for you guys, your own pattern paper. And you know it has dimension because I'm doing a layer upon a layer of the cardstock, but it's from the same sheet of cardstock. I just used the dark side to layer on all of these die cuts. And so you can see it's a process, but it's beautiful. So let me show you my finished piece that we're going to use on the layout. Okay, isn't that nice? And you can see you get to the edge and you cut, and even right here, you can see that was an edge piece, and I had cut it off and then I just stuck it in. But when you're looking at the whole pattern as a whole piece on your layout, you don't notice any of the pieces that you've just stuck in. There's an individual leaf I just stuck in, but look how pretty that is. It's almost like velvet. That's what it reminds me of when you saw those like crushed velvet and they had a pattern in them. That is what this reminds me of. So there you go. That is the fun tone-on-tone textured background that you can make. So now let's talk about the coloring with the blending brushes. Okay, so here's all the pieces that I took the backing off, but you can also take, let me see where I put it, get the paper out of the way. Here we go. You can take the same die cut that I cut with Mossy Meadow, and I can just cut it out of white cardstock, and then I can add some ink blending to it. Now, the colors I told you in the layout were the Mossy Meadow, the Berry Burst, and the Timid Tiger. So I'm going to zoom out just a little, and I'm going to open my ink pads, okay, and I'm going to grab my blending brushes. And I like to put the blending brushes with the color family. So I have a large green one, but I didn't want a large green one for this layout, so I'm using a fresh one. And here is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the scrap paper, and I'm just gonna grab my blending brush, and you have more control. And let's see, am I zoomed in too much? There. You have more control when you use your finger on the head, because you can control how hard or how soft of pressure you give. And so all we're gonna do, and I'm not gonna use this because you're not gonna be able to see it very good, is, oh, my fingers just, but that's okay, we'll make it work. I'm just gonna lightly add some Berry Burst to the flowers. And I'm not even gonna worry about doing the whole thing. I just stuck my finger in it, see my thumb, and got it on the whole die cut, but for the purpose of the video, it'll work. And I'll cut another one to finish the layout. But I'm going to just get a little bit of color, and I'm going soft all the way around the edges, okay? And then I'm gonna grab a little bit more, and I'm gonna go a little bit intense right in the center. Just like that, okay? So Berry Burst, done. Now I'm gonna grab the Timid Tiger, okay? And I'm gonna get a little ink, and like I said, you could do it right on this glass mat, but I am so messy I don't trust myself. So I like to first do it on a piece of paper and get it out of my way. And all I'm gonna do is a tiny bit of Timid Tiger on these little flowers. This is just what I chose to do. You can certainly do any colors you want on the flowers. You could make the larger flowers be the Timid Tiger. Okay, and I think I'm even gonna add just a smidge more to that one. All right, get Timid Tiger out of the way. I always move them so that I don't accidentally go into the wrong color. Okay, got my green, and now I'm just gonna add, hold that die cut down. There's all kinds of fancy tricks you can do. You can use temporary adhesive on the back of this die cut so it doesn't move. But you know, like I said, I do everything a little bit quicker than maybe I need to. And that's just because sometimes I just don't have a lot of time, but I want to get these fun layouts done and try these techniques. So I just power through a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna add the green, and this one I'm gonna go light on this particular die cut so you can see the difference, but you can go a lot darker as well. And I'll show you. So I'm gonna add a little more green to this one. Okay, a little more green, and I still don't like this one. So I'm gonna work not on that, and I just wanna get a little more pink on this little flower. Just a little more pink in there. Okay. And you just play around till you like the final result, okay? So we're gonna call that good. And that is how you can just quickly watercolor your die cuts. Now you make sure you clean your surface. Okay, get all those things off. You can quickly watercolor your die cuts. So now let's work on putting the page together. So this is page 2. I'm gonna start with that. And I'm gonna grab this piece. So I've done most of the page so far. I just wanted to demonstrate this technique to you. So I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Seal. Oops. And I'm gonna add my adhesive. And I'm gonna add it to the page. Now, on the very first layout, let's make sure I'm zoomed out enough for you guys to see everything. The very first video I did in this series, we used this paper on the fall layout, but we had plenty left for me to use it on this layout. Now here is the stylish shaped die, so it's just a circle, but look how subtle that edge is, and it looks great. You could use any kind of a circle, but I like having that subtle edge. I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive, and then this little guy is going to kind of go at an angle like that. Okay, so get my photos on. Oops. Okay, do it a little bit like that, and then we're going to get dimensionals. And we're going to add this little guy in right here. But I'm not going to add it because I'm going to redo it because I got that little ink boo-boo that I don't like. But I just want you to see how quick and easy it can look to add those die cuts. Now, this is a simple layout. There is not much to it, right? But it's got 4 pages. But wait, let me show you page 1. Okay, so page 1 right here. So here is that technique. All the way down the side, the exact same technique. So I did one 4-inch strip of 12 by 12 cardstock, covered it, and then cut it in half, and used it for both pages of the layouts. Now here is the title I was telling you about, making a bold title on your layout when you don't have any stickers, you don't want to use a Cricut. These playful alphabet dies are the bomb diggity. They're so good. You're going to want them. They're kind of addictive, and then you can mix and match. So it's these party alphabet dies. They come with this really nice envelope. And then I used another one of the stylish shape banners right here, and that's where the small alphabet die came in, the mini alphabet set, and I cut out the word full heart. So I cut the heart out of 2 colors of cardstock, espresso and berry burst, and then I tied the whole layout together using the colors that are in the background of the paper. So let me show you both pages side by side so you get a complete overview of what this 2-page layout looks like. Ta-da! And let's zoom out a little to make sure you can see it all. So now let's talk about the elements and why it's designed like it is. Number 1, you have the same technique on both pages, and they're anchoring the page. You see them on the outside of the page. They're tying your page down, and then they're pulling your eye into where all your photos are. Here's the pattern paper. It goes across both pages. So for a 2-page layout, that again ties the layout together. And then you have the 3 images from the die cut that works so great because this is just a paper pack, and so there's no stickers, didn't have my Cricut, so we make all of our own embellishments from the die cuts and a little bit of ink blending, or in the case of the last layout, a little bit of water brushing. And so then the other thing you have this triangle pattern going on your page, so it pulls your eye all the way around. And then I finished it off using the new in color 2025 through 2027 flat pearls. And I chose the Timid Tiger pearls because Timid Tiger, I used it here, and then it's in the layouts, and then it's the accent piece on my die cuts. And then I'll finish it off by adding 3 Timid Tiger pearls over here. But like I said, I'm going to redo this die cut off camera because I kind of goofed it up a little bit and get that stuck right there. And that's the layout. So I hope that you guys liked it. You like this fun technique of building your own background and texture paper. And there may be a 4th layout coming through my channel. I've created a 4th one. I just haven't done a video yet. But if you enjoyed these ideas, leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite thing was. Was it the ink blending? Was it the alphabets? Was it creating your background and texture paper? What do you think of 2-tone cardstock? Have you ever done anything like this before? Have you played with the Floral Charms DSP? Also, in the description, I've linked the supply list to make it easy for you guys to see everything that I used. I know I kind of went through it and just showed it to you, but there'll be a link in there that you can click on to see everything up close and read more about the products. And then if you want to connect with me on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest, all my links are in there as well. I have a private group on Facebook where I share a lot of artwork inspiration. So be sure and check that out. And again, thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you learned something new, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.